Yeah, man! Serious times down in Johannesburg. Watch the fire now. Listen! The horns! Oh, yeah. The stage was set, the lights were low for the big G20 show. Leaders coming from across the sea to talk about the world economy. Johannesburg was dressed to impress, ready to clean up the global mess. But before the first gavel could sound, a different kind of noise started going around. Now everybody talking about Cyril's big blunder. He lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. The see politicians step up to the mic, spewing out words that nobody like. They open their mouths and the fire jump out, insulting America, scream and shout. They're telling tall tales, they're telling the lies, right there under the African skies. And the media catch it, they run with the ball, they amplify the noise until the whole thing follow. Talking about Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah. Watch the house of cards, they're tumbling over. Yeah, blow it down, what a mess. I look at the president sitting up high, I see that little twinkle in his eye. He cracking that smile, that devious grin, while the diplomatic ice is getting very thin. You think the eagle gonna take that heat? Nah, sir, they won't take a seat. No Uncle Sam at your Josie party. You chase them away, you're acting too hearty. It's Cyril's big blunder, he lighting the match while we standing under. You think you're smart with that devious smile, but you're burning down the bridge for mile after mile. Oh, Cyril's big blunder, what a heavy price when you're playing politics and rolling the dice. The party is cancelled, the guests wouldn't come. Now we dancing alone to the beat of the drum. Yeah, they staying away America, now come to Johannesburg today. You set the house on fire, man, what kind of plan? Cyril, wipe that smile off your face. It's a disgrace. No, sir. No, sir.
Quiet as a church mouse. Got a stack of invoices on the floor, creditors banging on the black and green door. The kids are crying, the fridge is bare. There's a tension hanging in the stale office air. We don't want a banquet, we don't want a spree. Everybody just wants a bucket of KFC. It's a flashback, a rerun, a glitch in the screen. Bills are overdue, and the party planners are coming for you. Working without compensation, it's a payroll disintegration. How can we trust you with the state of sure you wanna lead the way, but you can't find the cash at the end of the day. Hard-working staff left out in the cold. Stories of funding that never got told. Did the wire transfer get stuck in the sand? Did tear on run out of money on the man? Pick up the hotline, make a dash. Go ask the BRICS countries for a little bit of cash. It's a bad habit, breaking the trust, turning the legacy into dust. 18 months was a lesson learned, but the bridge is already being burned. Policy, they talk about the land, they talk about taking what is in your hand. Look on the bright side, through the frustration. At least it is not yet. Expropriation without compensation. Without compensation.
Good evening, folks. Welcome back. Good morning to folks over in South Africa. Is that, are my lights on? Yes, they are on. It's hard to see those lights in that tree now, but they are on. Good evening, good morning. Welcome back to the program. Let me just do a sound check very quickly. They are on. Okay, excellent. So, look, before I get into tonight's news, I just want to ask, Dogzilla, dude, what's your major malfunction? What is your problem? Why do you come here and act like such an ass? Your snarky, rude, disrespectful comments. You know, it's time you get put in your place, and I'm going to be polite and not do it to you. But, oh, gee, can we see pictures of the Colonel? Well, you may have missed a genius, but a lot of people tune in just for that. And I don't appreciate your snarky attitude. I mean, there's nothing on my wall professing my greatness or my achievements. Nothing. So, you know, get a grip, release the hand from your member, and start acting like an adult. You think it's funny? That's not funny. It's just snarky. Snarky isn't funny. There's a difference between entertaining. You know, Matthew Dixon is a funny troll. You're just snarky and rude and disrespectful. And I've tolerated you for a very long time, just because I believe in discourse. But you're really acting like a tool. I don't think anybody likes it. Let's just do a poll. I mean, you've brought this on yourself. Here's a poll up, folks. Feel free to answer the poll. Just curious. Guy drank whiskey, Sedgefield. What's going on there, man? Good morning, everybody. All right. Polls Anonymous. Let me say hello to some of the folks in here and what should be an abbreviated Night Owls. I'll be appearing on the Truth Report's live broadcast at 5 a.m. It'll be noon for South Africans, but 5 a.m. And then shortly after that, I'll be doing an interview with an Iranian South African about South Africa, the U.S., Iran, issues like that. So there you go. I'm sorry you struggle to get my live there, Rudolph. What's going on? U.S. Afrikaner. Okay, that's interesting. I see that. Nadine, welcome to you. Hendo, our moderator extraordinaire. Dogzilla, best wishes from Seattle. The rain means rivers will be rising again. Well, that makes sense. Sharky Mas. Urban Homestead Africa. Janine Popecock. Pocock. I said Pocock. Good evening to you. Lily Fan de Place. Lily, what's the word? Any news since we chatted last? I heard that they're okay. Denise Bellingham, welcome to you. Vela, Dirk Kutsia, always a pleasure. Angelique, hello. Devon Basson, Donovan Charles, Fleury, Chesigi, Anthea. Yeah, can we please watch a series of photos, Chris, again? Yeah, you didn't see any series of photos on me in here, so I don't know what your beef is. Love the song. Hendo saying hi to everybody. Sedgefield saying hello to early morning. You got squatters. Okay, I didn't know about that. Or I didn't catch it. Caroline, welcome to you. Week has been busy so far. I've had to deal with people whose feelings are upset. And rightly so, but you know, it's just the way things are. Mandy von Ryan, hello. Freya Dutoy. Arnold Neveling, Marcel, Idaho Garden Girl. I like Idaho. The Gem State is an oddly shaped state for its geographic boundaries, but it's a lovely place. It makes you feel a lot like being in Arizona in some respects, part of it. Jackie Kane, hello to you. Emerencia Quinn. World still stunned shock and all his handouts dry up. Yep. Caught them all with their pants down. Perfect time. Yep, I agree with you, Sedgefield. What else we got there? Rian Steenkamp, AJ Quinn. Grüezi, Adrian Frick aus der Schweiz, ja. No, ja, wo geht's heute? Ja, ziemlich gut. Ja, for sure. In der Schweiz. Tinky Kieser, hello to you. And Nicola. 787, Moonlit Glyph. Okay, Shawnee, welcome to you. Sockies. Yaku Sneeman, good morning. Can I suggest sometimes in the poll? No, sometimes. You either like it or you don't like it. It's pretty unusual on the other channels to do that kind of self-centered self-promotion. Well, then leave. You're welcome to leave. No one's forcing you to be here. Just go. It's not self-promotion. I didn't write the songs. And I was asked to play them. You'll notice they aren't played all the time, are they? Are they? In fact, I haven't played the Wyatt Army or not the Colonel Wyatt song in ages. So what are you going on about? I haven't played that song in ages. And if you don't like self-promotion, then why are you in here running your mouth all the time? Oh, look at me. I've got refugees. Look at me. They went to Italy. Ooh, these refugees. And then the statistics come out and you're a liar. Not a single refugee was settled in the state of Washington since the South Africans came. Not a single one. And you're a liar because you didn't tell the whole story. They went somewhere else and then they relocated. You didn't tell us that. You constantly cause chaos in the chat and stream by lying to people about these so-called refugees who weren't refugees, at least not to Washington. They made refugees and went and landed somewhere else. But you only tell us that after you're exposed with your fraud. Who's the person that's self-promoting? What are you doing here anyway? If your feelings are so hurt, don't be here. And if you think it's self-promotion, then piss off. Yeah, I love these little clowns who've accomplished nothing in life. Oh, I was at Boeing and I'm retired now and I'm extremely wealthy and all of my houses are lovely and we've got everything around here and it's wonderful. Oh, yes. Great place for refugees to come and get their $800,000 houses here, yes. We rely on the Mexican gardeners and they take care of everything. Lifestyles are rich and famous in Seattle or Spokane, wherever you think you're living now. Bellingham, somewhere like that. Anyway, somewhere in the I-5 corridor, I guess. Chesigi, you're a wanker. It's just narcissist because you have to come in the chat and talk about yourself and boast about. Yeah, exactly. All the good he does. Don't know, been hiding. You know, I mean, that's the thing about self-promotion. Oh my gosh, I could sit here and talk for days about self-promotion if I promoted myself. Oh my goodness, unbelievable, unbelievable. Kathy, let it go. once again, Dogzilla's misleading you. Who said that they weren't free to travel to other countries if they get permission from the State Department? That's what the law says. He takes too far all the time, Yaku. He's always taking too far. And when he's not taking too far, he's setting people up to take it too far. Grandiose narcissist, if you have to take a guess, tell me how many times have you told people you have helped you don't feel appreciated? Yeah, I was married to a wanker like you. See? That's good. Truth is not that all refugees are economic refugees. See, it's just him again. Who said they were economic refugees? I never said you're the one who said they were economic. I said they have legitimate persecution fear. Anyway, whatever. You see, he doesn't get it. He loves pulling on his toy there. All right, we're done with his chew toy. Yeah, create his own YouTube channel. Yeah, exactly. Political. You could tell who lives here in Bellingham if you look at the pile up on the I-5. Man, I tell you, that's why I can't live in Washington. That and the hate wankers. There seem to be a lot of them out there. The massive ants. Remember that? I talked about the big ants and I was called a liar. Please. I mean, the people calling me that. Have you ever been on Fort Lewis? You ever been out in the training area? You ever bivouacked out there and been out there at night and been bitten by these nasty things that were imported from Europe, from Germany to be exact? Yeah. I get a kick out of it. I-5 is a nightmare. I mean, the only part of I-5 I could live on is down around Olympia, and that's been a while. I've been Olympia in years, so I don't even know if that's still a safe place to go. But I-5 is just a parking lot. It's been a parking lot for 30 years. It's just too many people. It's one artery. They should have been clever and built, 8-lane highways, the whole way. It built, a parallel highway to it. Good morning, Willem and Sydney. Anti-Floyd says, thank you for the interview with Peter Altenbach. I enjoyed the interview with him. I had to figure out his cadence, though. Yeah, thank you, Marcel. So a content creator isn't allowed to promote his own content on his own channel. Well, apparently not. Apparently, when you tell people about your qualifications so they find an interest and want to come to your channel, when you talk about the things you talk about and you relate your stories. I mean, look, this wanker has only been here a short time. How many times have you all asked me, please show us your awards, please show us your awards? Every year. Ironically, not so much this year because everybody just wants to talk about refugees, but every year before this, constantly, please tell us, what did you do in uniform? We've seen photographs of all the ribbons. What are all those decorations for? And I rarely talk about this stuff. Exactly, faithful farmer. I never said that. He's the one saying it. See, it's just anyway. All right, well, enough of his chew toy. I'm done with that clown. Well, I'll help you get off the better channels. We can just block you on this channel, you toad. Meanwhile, in Japan, massive earthquake, folks. Ooh, bad mojo. Okay, that's the wrong window. This should be the right one. Nope. Oh, there it is. It's working. Okay, good. Evacuation orders issued in Japan after powerful earthquake triggers tsunami warning. Powerful magnitude 7.5. Well, that's not that powerful. It's strong, but it's not. You get 1/8. That's a scary one. Orders of magnitude go up demonstrably. Struck off Japan's northeastern coast tonight, triggering evacuation orders and a tsunami warning for parts of the coastline. I hope they got the Fukushima nuclear plant evacuated properly this time and shut down. Some parts of the country experienced tsunami waves. The Japan Meteorological Agency reported an update early Tuesday. A 2.3-foot tsunami height was observed in Kuju Port in Iwata. A 16-inch tsunami height was recorded in Amuri and Hokkaido. After several hours, the Japanese Meteorological Agency downgraded the warning to a tsunami advisory. The agency also adjusted the quake's magnitude down from an initially reported 7.6. U.S. Geological Survey said the earthquake struck at 11:15 p.m., 44 miles off the coast of the country at a depth of 33 miles. Damn. 33 miles. There were several reports from Omori Prefecture of injuries and fires. Chief Cabinet Secretary Minoru Kihara said in a news conference early Tuesday, it's already tomorrow there. He said power outages have been reported and the high-speed train service was suspended between Fukushima and Omori. Some sections of expressways were also closed. Wow. There's the Prime Minister. Speaks to the media about the response to the earthquake that shook the northeast region. Of course, Japan is no stranger to severe earthquakes. It lies on the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire. An area of intense seismic and volcanic activity on both sides of the Pacific Ocean. Yeah, crazy stuff. Devet Thrawn, hope you're well. If I may ask a question, I am the country security manager for a big international company in South Africa. What is prospects for private security front in the U.S.? You mean working here? There's work. And also, we have private security companies that provide services all over the world. So if you have the background, the bona fides, and the experience, you'll find something. I mean, I've been offered many things in the security field. I turned them all down so I can be insulted by Dogzilla. Yeah, I've turned them all down. Yeah, there's stuff here. I mean, it may be a different approach than what you're accustomed to, but I mean, ultimately what you're providing is the same. 13 earthquakes in Alaska in the last 20. Wow, it must be, I wonder if that's a knock-on from that. You have a video from an office CCTV. It's wild. Xavier, do you have me on email or on WhatsApp? If you do, send it to me. Yeah, right after Pearl Harbor Day. Just coincidence, yep. I accidentally picked yes instead of no. I have huge fingers. It's okay. Adrian is in the Schweiz. What's going on? All right, I'm catching up here now. Basic certainty will show you everything you need to know. You'll be fine, believe me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Dirk would know. Dirk's involved in business. He's got business interests here in the States, and he would know. It's tons. I would not worry about that at all. I mean, if you have the skills, you'll be able to sell yourself. And quite frankly, if anybody knows anything about South Africa, then they're gonna think you're switched on when it comes to security. Love my dear mom saying in the life passed down from her mom and hers, if you cannot say something good about someone, do not say anything at all. I live by it and pass it on to my girls. Well, Delmarie Mostart, that's a good position to take, but as an analyst, I have no choice but to call out people who misbehave, who are public figures. And so I do speak ill of some people myself. So appreciate that. Blood coat, poor Dogzilla. Maybe subconscious you like the bandwidth, Dogzilla. No, and I don't like the bandwidth you hold either. You're always bringing obscure things. I try to answer them as best as possible. They're almost always unrelated to the conversation at hand. Yes, Johnny Cash. And went down, down, down the ring of fire. The ring of fire. The flames grew higher. The ring of fire. What a great song it was. Enjoying an extra Vindaloo lamb curry. Is that what he had after that? Attention seeking, always causing unnecessary drama. Yes. Holden does it in a more minor way. So, but he does ask some real questions occasionally. So, and he's not rude like that. So he's never rude. At least I don't recall being rude. I must be crazy since I was introduced to your channel and have been getting up at 5 a.m. Never been an early bird. Yeah, Cindy, I've been able to drink the Starbucks now for almost 5 days, and I haven't had a single one. Further cementing my point about I'm not addicted to things, you know. By the way, I got this cool thing, the Cardia Mobile. You guys know the Cardia Mobile? You guys, I had to do this. I'm going to do this after I do a rant or something like that. So I have this Cardia Mobile. That's the little EKG, because people worry about my health, okay? And I appreciate that. That's really kind of people. But they're like, calm down, man. You're going to freak out. So I bought a Cardia Mobile. I got the little red edition, which is a special one. You know, it's not for HIV, but it's red. Cardia Mobile. So that's an EKG, and it actually works. So I used it for the first time earlier. I created an account, and because I bought it during Black Friday. It was on sale. I mean, it's a little toy, but I mean, I thought I'd get it because of the audience, because people are like constantly worried about my health. I think you need to worry less about my heart, which is very healthy, and more about the aneurysm in my head that might burst. But I think that's a bigger concern. Hang on a second here. Here it is. So I don't want that. Okay, I want to see my history. Here we go. All right, so here's my EKG. I took this at 6:47 after I'd had a couple soft drinks, which means sugar and caffeine from the soft drink were in my system. And a normal sinus rhythm, 60 beats per minute. You probably can't see that very well. So that's 60 beats per minute. Normal sinus rhythm. So, yeah, I got that for you guys. In fact, let's try it right now. All right, let me try it right now. Okay, you ready? Okay, I'll make sure I get a good signal here. I'm a little excited, so maybe my heart rate will be up a little bit. Let's see. Okay, that doesn't work. I got to go back to the beginning. Home. Record EKG. Here we go. Processing file. Okay, give it a minute. Had a great signal on this device. It's processing the file. Didn't take this long the first time. What's the deal here? Well, that's taking a long time. Is there an error here? What's going on? No, should be good. Wow, it only took a moment last time. Now it's taking a long time. But, I said 60 beats per minute before. Now, after addressing the nonsense with Dogzilla and chatting with you guys, there it is. 56 beats per minute. Okay, I have to select the person. So it was almost ready. I'm saving it. 56 beats per minute. What the hell's going on here? Where'd it go? Okay, it's taking a long time. It didn't take this long before. I don't know why it's taking so long. Later. Oh, there you go. So 56 beat normal sinus rhythm for my heart, and 56 beats per minute. See the little heart up there in the top? It says 56 beats per minute. Look at that. 20-year-olds would kill for that health. 20-year-olds would kill for that health. Unfortunately, my hip is damaged because of physical injury. So, but that's a recent thing that's manifested. Addicted to way too many things, and we'll bite the hand that wants to take them from me. Coffee, nicotine, buttermilk, rusk, strawberry fluffs. Understand that certainly. Okay. Will told me you won the bet. Oh, I did, Carhartt. Cara. It's Cara. Carhartt. It looks like you got the outdoor clothes there, Carhartt. Cara, how's it going? How you doing? Yeah, I did win the bet. I won the bet on the 4th of December. That was 30 days. So 5, 6, 7, 8. That's 4 days. About to go on the 5th day without Starbucks from that date. So, but I've got a fridge full. When I bought a bunch of it, and Arctic seemed crushed. He's like, well, then I guess you didn't learn anything, and I wasted my $500. No, dude, you made a bet with me that I couldn't drink for 30 days. You didn't say that your goal was to get me off of that product. But anyway, so I haven't been drinking because I kind of felt bad, because if that's how Arctic really felt, he wanted me to stop, then I'm not going to stop. I mean, I bought all those cases. I mean, I'm not going to stop eating liquor, so I'm not going to stop eating sugar. I don't have diabetes. I'm not massively obese or out of control. Cholesterol is good. My heart rate, as you can see, is fantastic. My heart is, 58 beats per minute. That's less than 1 per second, man. That's awesome. That's a finely tuned working machine there. Well, you have the aneurysm. It's a question whether the aneurysm bursts. It's just a weakness in the blood vessels. So, I was concerned I had an aneurysm in my head a few years ago because I was getting these throbbing pains inside of my head, my skull, and I thought there was something wrong, and went and had it all checked out, and there was nothing wrong. It was probably just YouTube. Couldn't get the EKG to work on my knee. I had to use my ankle. I just set it down on the table and use it, Shawnee. Okay. Good morning, Paul Stapleberg, Luis Duplessis. Very well, thank you. Okay. Yeah, I heard congratulations are in order. Yeah, but Cara, I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, now that you're head muggy washer and car guard, I mean, that's a big responsibility. We know that refugees are just all struggling. Did you guys see my video that I did in response to that Briefly article? Oof, that Briefly article, man, something else. That thing is just. Oof. Let me find. I deleted that, or did I? No, there it is. Here it is. Let me show you this. This it didn't torch me, but it got me going. I finally made a video about it. By the way, I watched the BBC video. It's kind of balanced, but it's not entirely balanced, if you know what I mean. A little bit frustrating with the Briefly. I saw the BBC video that people were telling me about. I started watching it. I have a problem with them going and talking to poor Afrikaners like, I'm doing this because it's an opportunity for me to get a job. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. They're not articulating themselves well. So go talk to poor, toothless people, and that's the approach you get. Then they went and talked to one gentleman who explained things very clearly. But she also very cherry-picked. Like when she talked about in the White House, she showed Trump. Well, President Trump showed photographs purportedly of people murdered in South Africa, and that story wasn't even about South Africa. It was about women being raped in the Congo. No, sweetheart, that's not what the story was about. The story is about people being murdered in Africa and the crime. The picture was about women from the Congo, but if you read the story, it included a portion of the story talking about South Africa. It was yet another story covering it. So very dishonest media, and I was very disappointed in her too. She did a reasonable job, but everything was very skeptical about what's going on. And also, she kept this whole thing about asylum. It's not asylum. That title is bogus bullshit. And beyond that, she kept going on about about how it's controversial and this, that, and the other. And the reality is that who is denying that black South Africans are murdered on farms? Who reported the Indian woman who was 4 months pregnant, whose throat was slit and slaughtered on the Ayub farm back in 2020? I did. Who reported the death of the black cattle farm in the Free State? I did. Who doesn't report these deaths to the media? The media. It's hard to find these deaths when it's not white people. They're the ones doing it, sensationalizing. I've always said it's a rural insecurity problem, and I was called naive by people like Willem Petzer and others because I didn't know what I was talking about, and I've said this all along. But see, those people don't know what they're talking about. They're just getting emotional stories from people. I have actually done intelligence on this in the intelligence community for decades, so I know very well what's going on. If you want to know what's going on, talk to Jacques Brudrich from AfriForum Safety. He knows what's going on. Willem said, I did, Colonel. That's attention to fit ANC mindset. Yep. Black Forest cake. Ooh. COPD. Yeah, that's not good stuff there. It's tough. Turn down the lights. Phrase of the year. Cupcakes peepers almost jumped out of his Google box. That's good, said Sheila. I didn't, but we'll take a look at it. I have a huge responsibility being a head car guard. I know, car isn't amazing. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cool. You know, I found this. I had bought this because my laptop, I didn't have a way to take the old USB 1, USB 2, or A and B in here. But and it's got a little micro SD card and a standard SD card plus like an HDMI cable can go over here. But I can use this to adapt those. And that plugs into a C port right there on my my laptop. I need this because I think the drive, that hard drive might have been damaged, and that's what's giving me problems on the computer. So anyway, so I need to take that laptop or that hard drive out of here, the external hard drive. I moved it from the outside and plugged it inside to a different USB connection. It seems to have worked all but one time. I had a problem with it one time, but other than that, it's been working. I think that might be what's messing the computer up. I don't know. But I need to back up all that data on there. I've backed up some of it here on these drives, but I need to back the entire drive up in case the drive has failed. What's your opinion about the BBC interview? Why does it seem that these reporters just want to make people name themselves? I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm about, halfway through it. I'm going to get back to the Briefy article in a moment. I got through 27 of the 52 minutes. Yeah, almost. I got through half of it. And Clippy's Nadia is talking right now, but I had to pause and run off to the Veterans Organization for about 4 hours. So my opinion on it is that it makes an effort to appear to be balanced, and it is balanced in some aspects. But just like the CNN interview, they're bringing red herrings that have nothing to do with the conversation at hand. Why are they going to Brits and talking to the woman who wants to come to America because she wants a job? And looks like she's about 97 years old. I'm guessing she's maybe 50, but she's really worn and faded. And nothing against the lady, but I mean, that was not helpful. They did talk to a guy later on who put it very clear. You know, it's genuine fear. These people come and kill people at night. But then they get this English farmer says, well, it's not here. You know, white people aren't being targeted. Everyone's being targeted. If they thought black people, and listen, this is what he said. If they thought black people had the 20,000 rand and a gun in their safe, they would kill them too. But they don't think that. They think the white people have that, whether they have it or not. So they're attacking them and torturing and murdering them. So you've just confirmed that they're intentionally attacking white people. Why? Because they're white. Why? Because they think white people, erroneously, are the ones with the guns and money, and they're vulnerable. So the guy is trying to say the white people aren't the targets. They'll attack everyone. But that's bullshit. And yes, many black farmers are murdered. I'm one of the first to say that. And many coloreds and Indians. I've said that. I've said all along. So I have a problem with the BBC thing. They put all of their energy behind that, and it's disingenuous. I wouldn't say it's a lie, but it's disingenuous. And that's the problem with all this stuff. It's kind of like what the South African Human Rights Commission did in Hartbeespoort, which we just talked about earlier today with Peter Altenbach. They went there. They said the town is not racist, but then they tried to encourage people to expropriate their property for redress. What redress? What redress? And then on top of that, they failed to mention that those people actually had to go sue the black-led government to electrify a village that the black-led government built for people, low-income housing, but then didn't give electricity. So they sued them to get electricity in there. The white people did that. See, they don't give that whole story. They also lied about the bubble situation. They failed to point out that there's no evidence that any of the white in the community did that. No. And they also, they took the incident of a white guy who pointed a gun at a black person and said, see, it's racist. No, that was that professor. No. That guy also kicked and beat up white people in the streets. That guy has a problem and isn't race related. Much like the argument that the one farmer there, Mr. Barrett, had to say in the BBC video, well, it's not racial because they'll attack black people too. Well, why aren't they saying that it's not racial about that white guy pointing a gun at a black person because he's also attacking white people? See, it's always one side the wrong way. And it's very clear that the officials in power want to make white South Africans in particular feel like second-class citizens. It's pretty obvious. Also, remember the argument we always get, white people are they don't learn African languages. Well, first off, Afrikaans is an African language. Second case, did you hear the guy speaking to his farm workers? That sure as hell wasn't Latin. It wasn't Portuguese. It wasn't German or Danish. That was an African language, and he was fluent in it. The guy in his bucky talking to his guards, and he wasn't speaking a patois. He wasn't speaking a couple words. He was speaking that language fluently, wasn't he? And a white guy, an English white guy, speaking a black language, which is what most South Africans do that I know. It's utter nonsense, these people, especially farmers. Farmers always speak at least 2 languages. What do you think about Rhodesia and possibly bringing him back? Rhodesia's never coming back. Rhodesia's gone. What do I think about Rhodesia? I think that Ian Smith made a huge mistake. They should have looked towards granting the vote to black Zimbabweans and black Rhodesians much earlier. By 1968, 1969, they should have already had it in place. They should have phased out that system. They could have guaranteed, representation for themselves. But anyway, so no, but an amazing story of a country under siege that held it all together for such a long time. No newspaper ever spoke about the murders. If it was in the paper, it was in the back. Exactly, Vilma. Yeah, I spoke about them when I could find out about them. I don't differentiate between white people and black people murdered. I also covered that beautiful student from UCT. I can't remember her name. Sorry, the beautiful student from UCT who went to collect her post box and the guy raped her and murdered her. I covered that. I also covered Sifatso Pule and the 9-month pregnant beautiful woman who was sleeping with a guy who was married and she was inconvenient, so he had her offed. I covered that murder as well. I don't pick and choose. I cover all this stuff if I can find information on it. And when black people are wronged, I talk about it. When colored people are wronged, I talk about it. When Indian people are wronged, I talked about it. But notice all the coloreds that were hanging out in here from that community, they've all just foot-sec. They've left because somebody's feelings were hurt, because I was called a liar and I didn't appreciate it on my stream. At some point, look, I don't have to put up with that. I mean, even as a content creator, but I'm not going to tolerate that as a retired colonel. Someone calling me a liar just like that. It reminds me of a screen capture that someone sent me from comments on, the Sunnyside Prowlers channel, where somebody went on there and called her out and said, she's attacking people like me. And then she had the audacity to call me names, and I would never trust him. Well, you know what? You wouldn't trust because you like to walk the streets and prowl to make your living. That's your business. Your morality is pretty low. And you know what? I don't doubt you don't trust me because I would hold you to account. People expect things out of you. Where the hell is my SIM card? I've been waiting now for days for my damn SIM card from Pure Voice. It hasn't come yet. We helped out a few families from white settlement to pay for passports and get them interviews. Super anxious of how their interviews went. Oh, that's interesting, Dirk. Thank you for the help there. Right after non-white farmers were given farms by ANC, when they took over in 94, they also attacked and suffered land invasions. Yep. Got one of those fancy Garmin watches. Stopped wearing it because it kept reminding me how unfit I am. How often I get angry in front of stupidity. But why is there in most farm attacks nothing a little stolen, Colonel, if there's theft? It's not theft. I didn't say theft is a motive, Willem. I didn't say that. This is the argument they're making. It's not theft. Why are they torturing people? Why did the police lie about statistics? And you know what? I will never be convinced of anything different. I always had heard that they've been doctoring him, and based on the number of cases of people that I can confirm had been murdered, and I see the statistics report, I know they're lying. But now I have a police report, the actual police report in which they lied in Brits, and they said that it was a house robbery. It wasn't a house robbery. It was a targeted terroristic attack. That's what it was. That's what it was. Targeted terroristic attack. You don't come the first night when you have a 77-year-old man who had a hip operation and he's in a wheelchair. What's he going to do? What fight's he going to pop? You don't come and recon the site, poison the dogs one night, come back the next night, steal the wheels, the front and rear off opposite sides of the bucky so they can't get away, then come back on the third night and quietly torture them for 8 hours in the darkness, and then steal, a couple little things. And beat the guy mercilessly so that he dies in hospital 3 days later. Now, that's not a house robbery. That's nonsense. So, yeah, it's Willem, I'm with you. It's 100%. I know exactly what's going on. You know what's going on. And it's nonsense. It's not being done because they're white. Well, then why are people singing to kill white people? Yep. And the whole argument that whites aren't being targeted, of course they're being targeted. Why? And I've said it all along. Why? Because people presume they've got resources, whether they got them or not. It's ridiculous. Love the lyrics in last night's song. Okay. Well, did I play the second version? If it was not for your brave spirit, Colonel, we in South Africa would be so much worse situation than we are. Many do not truly understand the plight of the poor white Afrikaner. It's heinous. Well, Del Marie, I do understand the plight of the poor white Afrikaner. There's other people tell me I don't. And people whose feelings are hurt because I don't respond or do things the moment they wanted to. That doesn't make it true. I get it. I've lived in poverty. I know what it's like not to have meals. I know what it's like to be embarrassed to wear clothing that has holes in it. I know what it's like, when everyone else you go to school with has a car when they turn 16, or they have a varsity jacket for playing sports, or they're able to go on breaks during a trip during spring break and go to Florida on vacation, and they have all these school rings. I never got a school ring. I never got a varsity jacket. I'm not complaining about it. Just say I never had any of that stuff. Never had any of that. It was never high school experience. I never went to a prom. So I didn't have transportation. I couldn't afford a tuxedo, stuff like that. I mean, look, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that that's not an experience I had. So I know what it's like not to be like that. Now, I'm not trying to compare poverty in America with poverty in Benin or in Bangladesh. It's very different. I've lived in Africa. I've seen poverty up close and personal there. But a lot of these things are people's choices. People's choices. Anyway. See the post during the round now that 37 of us are unemployed. Yeah, Car, I did the video on it. You must have missed it. You must have missed it. I did a video on that. So, that came from here. So that was a Twitter post, okay? And so let me get this up on the screen. So briefly wrote this story. The United States to accept only Afrikaner refugees. Current Amerikaners reportedly face challenge. I guess they're calling you all Amerikaners. That's kind of sticking now. But anyway, this story is full of all kinds of nonsense and drivel, including this post. Mike, and his username is "It's a psyop, bro." Okay, that'll leave you question. He said, "Remember the 52 white South Africans we fast-tracked because they were a huge resource for American agriculture?" Well, they're not a huge resource for agriculture. No one ever claimed that. So this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. So the problem with this so-called media thing, from briefly, is when you report on things, you have to ask if it's plausible. Does the person who's posting that have access to the information, and do they have placement? They don't. There's nothing in their account that says that they work for the government, or they work for the State Department, or USCIS, or they're a member of the media. It's just some dude on YouTube, or on Twitter, posting something and making shit up. First off, of the 59, Cara, Willem, you're here. Of the 59, approximately half of them were minor children who aren't even working age. Tell me I'm wrong. Did I get it wrong? I'll correct the record. But approximately half of the people in that crowd were minor children. They're not even of age. So there's no way that we're talking about 37. Am I wrong? You guys can correct me on that, because that was part of my response. Let me close this damn poll because it's getting in my way. I can't see the chat over here. So 22% like me being insulted. Well, that's very kind of you. I appreciate that. So that means 22, 30 of you on here like me being insulted by Dogzilla. Well, that's entertaining. Interesting to know. Thanks for the love. I do appreciate that. That's it's good to hear. Now I know where I stand with 22% of you. Okay, good to know. I won't hold back in insulting in future, those 22%. I'll do it gleefully. Yikes. Okay. All right. Harkeys are having land grab issues since I moved here around 17 years ago. Moved there. But the white people still lost. Okay. No, you're not wrong. Exactly. So approximately half of that 59 were minor children. So you can't even count them. Now, let me see if I save my script from this for the video rather than play the whole video for you guys, because I don't want to drop off. Let me see. Oh, I need these sort by date. Okay. Here it is. I got it. Here's my thing. Okay. So this is what I wrote, and I made the video. So he said that the United States to accept only Afrikaner refugees as current Amerikaners reportedly face challenge. I said this title implies that because someone is facing difficulties, the program will be limited to Afrikaners. That's nonsense. And further, subtitle is Donald Trump is prioritizing Afrikaner refugees for acceptance to the United States in the next fiscal year. That's a true statement. He said White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt confirmed that only white Afrikaner South Africans will be accepted. I said that's true but misleading. She misspoke. One online user claimed that the current group of Afrikaners in America were facing challenges in securing work. I said that's flat out nonsense. What are his bona fides? According to one ex, formerly Twitter user, it hasn't been easy going for the 52 white South Africans who left the country for the United States. The Afrikaners left the country after United States President Trump signed an executive order granting them refugee status. 52. I said, where did they draw this number from? At the time the article was published on the 5th of December, the number of South Africans who had already arrived in the USA was in excess of 460, not 52. There were 342 in fiscal year 25, which included Willem and Kara, and that ended on 30 September, and 122 have come through 30 November in fiscal year 2026. Presumably, the number 52 is somehow associated with the 59ers who arrived on May 12th, which included Willem and Kara. Trump granted refugee status to all Afrikaners who felt they were being persecuted in South Africa as a result of the government's laws. I said that's misleading and incorrect. Trump did not grant refugee status. He offered it to all Afrikaners and racial minorities who can articulate past racial persecution or genuine fear of future persecution. That's very different than what the author incorrectly claims. Trump didn't grant that. If he did, then there'd be 2.8 million people come here tomorrow. But there aren't. They have to process and go it, and it has to be proven beyond a shadow of doubt by the USCIS that the person is a legitimate refugee. So there's a difference there. Also, there weren't just Afrikaners. About half of them were English, and there was a colored family there too. So they just pick and choose what they want to report. But now things take a turn for the absurd when the author actually posts an X tweet from "It's a PSYOP, bro." Really? That handle? With unsubstantiated claims and never questions the placement or access of the account holder in offering this bogus information. And the tweet read, 52 white South African refugees we fast-tracked because they were a huge resource for American agriculture. 37 are unemployed in urban areas, collecting welfare, SNAP and housing. 6 work in Amazon warehouses, 5 in entry-level assembly centers, plants, and 3 at call centers. I said again, does he mean the 59ers? And a huge resource for American agriculture? Who claimed that? Most of the 59ers were not farmers. Willem and Kara can attest to that. The program is not for farmers. 37 are unemployed. That seems implausible given that about half of the 59ers were minor children and not part of the workforce. At best, maybe 30 or so were even working age. There were a few retirees there. Collecting welfare, SNAP and housing? Well, of course some of them are. These are legal entitlements under the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1980. The same that any other refugee from Myanmar or the Congo or China, anywhere, is entitled to. However, the big beautiful bill passed July 4th has reduced and eliminated many of those benefits and those entitlements. Now, the ex-poster seems incapable of distinguishing between a refugee and a legal immigrant, which is something Dogzilla has trouble with. An immigrant arriving on public assistance an immigrant living on public assistance after arrival is a problem. We shouldn't be letting people in the country legally who are a burden on us. They're supposed to contribute to the economy. So a person who comes here that's on public assistance as a immigrant, that is a problem. But a refugee doing so is an expectation of the system, at least in the short term. We have a system set up to help them because they're coming penniless in most cases, without anything. And so he says, 6 working in Amazon warehouses. I said, and? So? Is there a point to that comment? An Amazon warehouse worker in central Pennsylvania earns $17 an hour with no skills. An entry-level employment, $17 an hour. Amazon in central Pennsylvania also offers comprehensive benefits, including medical, dental, and vision. I'm a 36-year combat veteran, retired from the Army. I don't have dental. I pay for that out of my pocket. It's cost me over $6,000 for dental care the past 5 years. Vision, I haven't had my eyes checked since I retired in 6 years. I don't get vision care. As a combat veteran, a disabled veteran, I don't get dental or vision. But Amazon, $17 an hour workers get free medical, free dental, and vision care. They get a 401k retirement plan with matching benefits. They get paid time off. They get life and disability insurance from their employer. Life insurance. I don't get life insurance from my employer. I'm self-employed. Plus, they get unique perks like career choice. They get education paid for. They get Prime memberships. You can watch all the movies you want. They get mental health support. 24/7 counseling is free to Amazon warehouse employees. Financial counseling, and family support for adoption and parental leave. I don't get any of that. Many of the refugees who arrived in America from South Africa could not even find employment where they came from owing to racist laws and employment policies in South Africa. $7, let alone $17 an hour, would be an improvement over their earning potential in South Africa. And working for a living is a dignified activity, contrary to the condescending commentary posted on Twitter and swallowed hook, line, and sinker by this author. Then the author turns to artificial intelligence to confirm the Twitter post. Seriously? Instead of contacting me or the State Department or the embassy in South Africa, the author briefly turns to artificial intelligence. According to AI chatbot Grok, no evidence could be found confirming the exact employment or welfare details for the group. That's because they're not a group. They're not a group. They're all over the freaking country. You're not going to find the data unless it's collated by the U.S. government. USA to only accept Afrikaners going forward while the status of refugees is uncertain at present. Any other Afrikaners looking to relocate will be able to do so. And that's not true. Trump has prioritized 7,500 spots for South Africans in the resettlement program for the next year. The figure is 7,500 for the globe, of which 7,000 reserved for South Africans, not for Afrikaners, South Africans. So it's a very simple thing to confirm that it was 7,500 for the globe. It's also very simple to find out that 7,000 reserved for South Africans, not for Afrikaners. The author claims that this was stated by White House Press Secretary Karen Levitt, who confirmed that only white Afrikaner South Africans would be accepted as refugees in the country. And the author quotes her directly. Refugee admissions into the country right now are essentially at zero, with the exception of Afrikaners fleeing persecution in South Africa. On this point, I cannot fault the author, quoting Levitt, but she's mistaken. She seems to conflate an Afrikaner with the South African. As we know for a fact that Coloreds, Indians, and English South Africans have come over and others have been approved. So, look, that's the briefly article, Kara. That's the one you asked me about, and I did a video on it. You must have missed it because YouTube doesn't promote my content. So where's that at? Let me find that real quick, and I'll share it with people who want to watch it, and you can see full video. Of course, it'll sound a lot like what I just said because I read the same script. Where's it at here? There it is. Debunking. Only 12,000 views. 12,000 views for a video that should have had 100,000. Very annoying. Anyway. Yeah, these articles are just propaganda to encourage people not to go. The Southern government hates that they can leave. Exactly. Only 1.6 people out of 5 may have a jab at you when you're not watching. That ain't a bad ratio. No, I'm just having fun with it, Xavier. Willem says the whole thing lacks factual information. Your dissection is spot on. Yep. I was told the venue for medical yesterday it got canceled. Cinderella, what got canceled? Your medicals? That doesn't make any sense. And they haven't contacted you? Well, my recommendation then, if you've done that, is if you're in the same place, if it's the same town. I mean, I don't know. You might be in a situation where you had to go to Joburg for your interview, and then they told you to go to Cape Town for medical. I don't know. But my recommendation, Cinderella, that'd be mine, if you're able to do it, is go back to the place where you interview and say, what the fuck? I mean, my fuck my lease. That's what I'd say to them. My fuck my lease. You know, you told me to go for medicals, I went, and the people there said it was canceled. Now, if it wasn't canceled and that business is playing games with you, then the U.S. needs to be aware of that. I mean, there's no way you're going to be able to tell them because you have no communication with them. So, I mean, if I got interviewed in Pretoria, I'd go back to that place, and I'd show them my stuff, my previous, and I'd say, I need to talk to somebody. They sent me here for medicals, nobody was there. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, Cinderella. I've never heard of that situation before, but it doesn't surprise me. Yeah, if you were told to be there and then they told you it's canceled, that's ridiculous. And Cyril did push again current that redress must continue. He also said that apartheid and colonialism are responsible for the wealth disparity, not the ANC, which is nonsense. Well, Michael says 22 or 30%ers. That's funny. Moonlit Glyph says, thank you. Have a peaceful evening. Got to go to work. Take care. You are one person that does understand the plight of white South Africans, but many, even white. No, they don't. You're right, Delmarie. They don't. They do not. The nonsense about privileged, uber wealthy, connected white South Africans sitting there denying the situation. I mean, there was a South African, well-known South African personality, right of center, very right of center, who stood in front of the embassy earlier this year and basically said that, well, the only people who are going to take this thing up are poor, toothless, uneducated Afrikaners, and that's fine. The real Afrikaners aren't going anywhere. Now, those aren't the words the person said, but that was the sentiment. That was the sentiment. And that's one reason why I haven't done an interview with that person, because that kind of pissed me off. Plenty of, like I said, I knew 5 millionaires, 5 Afrikaner dollar millionaires, or South African, not Afrikaner. They're South African, sorry, not everyone's Afrikaner. But 5 South African dollar millionaires who told me they're going, if they can get out, with this program. Yep. Bitcoin or XRP, what's easy to use? Well, I'm going to guess Bitcoin is because it's much more ubiquitous and well known. Previously, the State Security Service confirmed the Mschlang Commission how the ANC used them to infiltrate and influence mainstream media. Yeah, I heard somebody say that, Dirk, but I haven't seen that report. I have to go back and look for that. Doug Sill can go hug a transformer. And you're not referring to Bumblebee. Oh, Bumblebee was nice. A lot of us white Afrikaners are still in shock at what is and has been happening in our country. We don't even realize it. We were made to feel guilty. You should never feel guilty for who you are. This is the whole point of black consciousness. Steve Biko. Biko's premise was that, black people were being made to feel inferior because they were black. Well, that's immoral. No one should feel inferior because of who they are or what they look like. It's what you do. You can be inferior for your actions and your beliefs, but you can't be inferior because of your outward appearance and because of your ethnicity or your so-called race. And Steve Biko had a point, and he was right. Now, of course, the ANC's tried to claim the mantle of black consciousness, claiming that they were the ones behind it, but that's BS. It was Biko and a few others at university. So that's the legacy of Steve Biko that sticks with me. And it applies to white, colored, and Indian South Africans. You shouldn't be afraid or ashamed of who you are. Did you do something wrong to somebody? Then you have no shame. Did your ancestors do something? Who cares? I don't care what my ancestors did as Vikings 1,000 years ago. I mean, I do from a historical perspective because it's fascinating, but I don't care what crimes may or may not have been committed because the whole world committed crimes. Slavery was universal. Rape was the spoils of victory. Millions of women have been raped repeatedly in conflicts. I bear no guilt for that action. I've never mistreated anyone. I've never treated people unfairly. I've been even-handed in my handling with everyone. And if I haven't been, I realized it before I actually applied it, and I balanced that. So I've saved hundreds of thousands of lives, black lives in particular. I've helped end wars. I've helped train militaries to be professional and not be murderous thugs, and it's worked. And I've stopped the spread of HIV with the programs I've run and the consciousness I made of it. So I don't feel guilty. My skin color is what I inherited. That's my DNA. I can't change that, and I have no desire to change it. I mean, why would I change this? This is too sexy, man. My cat can't even stay in the same room with me. He always leaves. He's always like, "Oh, you're always better looking than I am," and he puts his tail in the air and he just wanders off. Oh, there's Chris again, looking so sexy on camera. More forepaw. I'm too sexy for my cat. Yes, I am too sexy for my cat. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Connecting another dot here. Now, why now the Southern Human Rights Commission of all institutions calling for blatant human rights violations in favor of people who have no claim whatsoever? Yes, correct. Why now? That's why I called it out. Well, now I know where I'm going to try and work. Did the calculation last night. All those perks. It's not just exactly, Siki. It's not just $17 an hour. Healthcare, dental care, vision care, paid holidays, a 401k retirement plan, free prime, which is costing $150 a year now. So that's $150 right there. The moment you work, you already got $150. You don't have to pay taxes on it. The list goes on and on. Endless benefits. No wonder that's everything got more expensive at Amazon. What's the salary? I haven't seen one in 6 years, says Quids. Okay. Good morning, Linda, fun dentist. Not once do they mention the evils of cancer did of their opposition in townships. No, they don't. They don't talk about the necklacing. Not once. Sonny said, Carl, I'm going to stand in her corner. That's where she'll get paying clients. You're right, Mike. That just upsets me, says Folk Funk. Me, millionaires, they're able to save themselves. Them using the system is just opportunistic. We left salary much less than saved our children years ago. Struggle works. Well, see, this is where we part company, Folk Funk. Not criticize you, but we part company. See, you're missing the point entirely. You're missing the point entirely. The program is not based on wealth. The program is not based on connections. The program is not based on who you are. The program is based on being a victim of racial persecution. Rich people are victims of racial persecution too. They are. Not just poor people. So the program is open to anyone who is colored, Indian, white, and even a few black people who are married to people in those categories who are suffering by unjust racial persecution, regardless of their income or their financial state. So we will part company on that one. They are just as welcome. If they're victims of racial persecution and they can articulate that, then they're welcome to come here. This is not, see, you're all, that approach you're saying here, Folk Funk, and I appreciate where you come from personally, but that approach simply confirms what the right-wingers are saying in South Africa and what the left-wingers are saying. Oh, see, this is just economic refugees. They just want jobs. That's all. That's all. They're just going to America for jobs. That's it. See, you're just confirming that. That may not be your intent, but you're confirming that. And that's why it's important. That's why it's important when I said from February 7th on, I said, I hope it's for ethnic minorities. I meant by the racial minorities. And then I changed that on the Monday when they said racial minorities. I said, there you go. See, that's what I hope. And I've been saying it all along, and I've been preaching all along, and people refuse to listen to it. Now, in her story in the BBC video, she was balanced about that. She said mostly this, mostly that. So yeah, anyway, anyway. No shame, no shame. Yea to my forefathers. They were not from them. Beautiful Southern Africa that was not have been. Yep. Was a millionaire for a week or two and forced out of my work. Took my pension, paid off most of my apartment. And you're no longer a millionaire, Karen. No one should be ashamed of their immutable characteristics. Exactly. Say no to white guilt. White guilt is just racism. It's just racism, and it's repulsive. No one should do that. When Cupcake stated he'd been handing over the GG to POTUS, The glee on his face was memorable, but another cupcake porky, huh? Yeah, Siki says, all my money went into buying my farm and setting up from being dilapidated. I am not dirt effing poor, not even going to get what I paid for it. Your comment is uncalled. Well, I think that, see, that's why I said it's not an attack on full funk. The point is that people are, you need to understand that this class envy is not a good look on people. If you're poor and you envy people rich, then you need to take a look at your circumstances and why you're poor. If you're rich and you have disdain for people poor, then you need to take a look in the mirror and see why you're an immoral bastard. You can have disdain for people who are screw-ups, people who make bad decisions. You're welcome to have disdain for them. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, but I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I had to struggle to make my way, and you know, it wasn't always easy. But I worked my tail off, and I applied myself. And actually, a victim of racial discrimination. Yeah, that's right. Yep, I'm a victim of racial discrimination. The affirmative action policies, which are illegal, unconstitutional, and immoral, and violate the 14th Amendment, were applied in the Army. There was a lawsuit several years ago by Army officers who were passed over promotion when black officers were promoted at a rate 2 and 3 times their percentage of the officer population. There's no way that black officers are 300% better than Indians, Native Americans, Hispanics, or whites. There's no way, unless the system is rigged to promote them. And in fact, that's what the system was. And so the Army lost the class action lawsuit and had to reinstate officers who've been passed over promotion. Some of them passed over going back 8 and 10 years. So that had to be advanced from like major to full colonel, and or something like that. They're lieutenant colonel, they went full colonel shortly after that. And they had to give them all the back pay. It cost the Army tens of millions of dollars. And promptly in the next defense authorization bill, the government put in a clause so that said that Army officers can't sue over promotion anymore. Yeah. The CakeNet documentary would bounce. I hope so too. We'll see. Rion van Heerden, he wanted me to say certain things, and I'm not sure that how I came across, because I was surprised he kept trying to push me in the direction like the CNN guy did. So we'll see how it comes out. Millionaires don't need jobs. There are people like all of us. Fears and pain, huh? Scheduled medicals for today canceled. I came to the location yesterday, got email saying medical canceled, review pending. Well, if you got the referral letter, then Cinderella, I would go to the place where you had the interviews and say, if it's in the same town, and say, hey, Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, what's going on here? Send me an email, Cinderella Dreams, and I'll see if I can't reach out to somebody about that. I can't promise anything. Willem's trying to catch my beard. Well, I've got to shorten my beard, so. Some companies pay your vacation hours like mine, buying a new computer end of this week with that extra $300. Adrian wants to know, where are those folk? Regardless of wealth, anyone can be a victim of racial persecution. Exactly. That's my point, Dirk. That's my point. Anyone can be a victim, and this program is not for economic migration. And see, and so folk funk is, I hope you haven't disappeared, because no one's attacking. I'm not attacking you. You brought up a point that's very, very valid that we need to talk about, and that's why I talk about it. But the point here is that this is not this is not an immigration program. People still treating this like, well, can I come back for the Christmas holidays? No, it's a refugee program. And if you don't, no offense, I see people leaving every week. What I'm getting at is South Africans can leave. Nothing is stopping anyone in South Africa from saving themselves. The system should help those that are truly stuck. The system do help those that are truly stuck. But your point, folk funk, that people can leave, it's not as simple as that. Just because you're wealthy doesn't mean go somewhere else. New Zealand changed their rules and made it very difficult for people to get there. I mean, I can't live in New Zealand. I can't live there. I can only go there for 6 months, and then I have to leave. Yeah, they won't let me live there. Yep, race laws kept our firms and staff out of being the best we could be and make us employ people based on the color of skin. Exactly right, Dirk. And it's held back. There are people who are wealthy who could be so much more wealthy if they had a business in America, been raised in America with the same idea, but they're held back by South Africa's racist laws. So. Yes, he has an anti-refugee agenda. Just consider the narratives of the social media posts since the program started. I don't even watch the social media. But yeah, and that was the impression I got. It was anti-refugee. So he did ask me about my affinity for South Africa and what's going on. I don't know how much, if any, of that will make it in the video. I'm not going to trust that he won't make me look bad. I mean, you can make people look bad with video. I'm going to trust that the intention was good, but we'll see. We'll see. If I look at what we did, we made a very difficult decision. We lost everything, and we still face return fighting to remain out. But we try and fight every day. We still face return fighting to remain. I don't understand what that means. What does that mean, full funk? I'm missing it. And we still face return fighting to remain out. I don't understand that. Well, you're not the only one. A lot of people gave up everything. Hendo moved to the UK in the 1990s. And he's been stuck in the UK, a prisoner of the UK ever since in, Islamistan. That's what it's become now. He's been stuck there for ages. So lots of people have given up everything and moved on. That's what the people are doing for this program. Cinderella sent me a message yesterday mid-morning. Okay, let me look for it. Come on, Gmail. Okay, there's nothing here from Cinderella. Let me look at the title of your... Okay, also when you say mid-morning what time? Your time or my time? We're 7 hours apart. Okay. Job alert, working about compensation. Information about questionnaires. Executive order, passport requirement, refugees, please help. Approval letter, okay. Okay, well that's not you. That's something else. I don't see any email from you here. Gazans, refugees. This is December 7th. December 8th. Outing themselves. There's nothing here, or I'm missing it. No, I'm sorry, Cinderella, I don't see anything. If I look at what we did, we made it very difficult. We lost everything. We still face... Okay, I already read that already. Sorry. Okay, regarding affirmative action in our country, the way the Civil Rights Act is written is a major problem. Yeah, exactly. We need to rewrite it and repeal Griggs versus Duke Power. You're right. The civil rights legislation is a black supremacy piece of legislation. The imposition of affirmative action was racist, and it violated the 14th Amendment's Equal Protection Clause, giving preferential treatment to people based on their skin color. It's wrong. But I'm also the person to think that it's inappropriate for the U.S. government to give preferential hiring status to veterans. If I go for a federal job, I get an automatic 5 points on my. I start out at 5 because I'm a veteran, just for being a veteran. I don't think that's fair. I don't think it's right. If I marry Adrian's a dude, man. I don't marry dudes. Sorry, we're definitely not the only ones. Leaving your life behind is not easy, but we did everything possible to be where we are. Yes, my heart dies for our people. Full funk. If you where did you wind up? Can you tell us that? Are you in down under, or in Aussies or Kiwi land? Are you in the rain capital of Europe? Germany or UK? Are you in Ireland? Are you in Canada? I mean, it helps out because I'm not understanding where you went. Dirk says, applying for Australian permanent residency visa took 6 months 15 years ago and was relatively inexpensive. It takes 3 years and hundreds of thousands of rand. Exactly, that's my point. Nobody's taking you all. It's not easy anymore. Even rich people have a hard time. That's where I'm at, Cinderella Dreams. All about Africa. Give me something in the title. Tell me what the title was. Odin's Viking says, I earned those 5 points. Well, I did, but I don't agree with the concept of giving me automatic 5 points. It doesn't make me a better candidate than someone else. I am, but that doesn't make me one. Ah, thank you. CWSRSC. Okay, let me look and see. I'll just type CWS. December 6th, I have something from somebody. No, this is not that. This says CWS pre-screening link. That's not it. You must have sent the wrong email address. Let me look at my spam folder. There are 49 messages there. Oh, these are from me. Those are ones I sent myself. Okay, here's someone sent me something that's trying to, I've got information. Yeah, here's another one. So my spam folder's got a bunch of refugee stuff because people are sending stuff, it looks like. proposal. Yeah, no thanks. Paid collaboration, affiliate, collaboration. Yeah, it's all crap. No, there's nothing there. You must have sent it to the wrong address. You must have typed it in correctly. I mean, I am the right one. Yeah, I'm in the right email address. I'm sorry, Cinderella, there's nothing there. Somebody please post the email address so she can resend it. Don't forget, countries have critical skills lists as well. If your profession is on the list, you may never be able to immigrate unless you purchase the equivalent gold visa. Yeah, Canada only lets certain people immigrate there. Yep, for example. Well, Odin's Vikings, having served in the military for so long, not everyone in the uniform is selfless. They're doing it for a job in many cases. 2016, I looked into immigrating to Australia, New Zealand, Canada, countries that recognize qualifications. My lowest quote was 147,000 rand per person. My wife wasn't welcome as her points were too low. Yeah, so you're supposed to leave your fan behind. Hey, Fonz, what's going on, man? All right, Cinderella, I'm trying to help you, but you're going to have to send it to me again. There's the email. We'll put it up. Yep. So, anyway, I did have some stuff I wanted to cover before I wrapped up here. So let me see. The earthquake we covered. Dozens injured in this earthquake, folks, in Japan. At least 30 people injured. Magnitude 7.5 earthquake hit northeast Japan Monday night at 23:15 at a depth of 50 kilometers, 31 miles, 80 kilometers off the coast. Train services suspended. Orders issued for 90,000 residents to evacuate because of the tsunami alert. But the tsunami alert has been downgraded now. Cyril Ramaphosa says that white supremacy notion threatens South Africa's sovereignty. Really? Look at all those black people. They're threatened by a handful of white people. And who are these white supremacists? Who are they? They'll tell you it's people that disagree with redress. That doesn't make you a white supremacist. It doesn't make you a white supremacist. On Delta Airlines for a family of 6 will be 150,000. Then that is not even the start of the whole process. I can imagine what the end of the cost will be. That's just flying, Langman. That's not even the cost of immigrating. We're talking about immigrating. Yep. Fonz has an interview? What's Fonz have an interview for? He's already in America. Or is it a job interview? Oh, you're in Eastern Europe. We love it. Our kids are in school. We own properties. Language is a learning curve. Well, yeah, full funk. Eastern Europe, there's nowhere in Eastern Europe that appeals to me. I've been, except Estonia. I've been to Estonia, Latvia, Poland, Czech, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Bosnia, Croatia, Greece. I've been to all those countries in Europe. Not one of them appeals to me. Not one of them. Russia, nope, doesn't appeal to me. Nope, Georgia doesn't appeal to me. Job interview. Okay, Fonz, cool. Cool. I sent you plenty of mails, but then you deleted my mails when you were cleaning your inbox and never read them, so I sent a pigeon. You might get it then. No, I didn't delete your emails, Quids. In fact, that's a major problem. I haven't deleted emails in that account. In fact, that's nonsense. I think you're trying to be funny and cute. I have no storage space. I have 44% of my 15 gigabytes left, and the only thing in here is emails. No images, no videos, nothing loaded up into the drive, the Google Drive. It's all in this account, nothing but email, and 44%. So I have about 6.5 gigabytes of emails in here. And I've deleted no emails from anybody since the refugee program started. None. That's not true. That's not true. Now, I just received another email from someone complaining about being screwed around. But I have not received anything from, it just came in. I'll refresh the page. I didn't have to refresh the page. It came in. Nothing from Cinderella. Nothing. I'll look in my spam folder again. Nothing new has come in. There's nothing there. I don't know where you're sending it. It's not coming to me. You're not blocked. I don't block anybody. but I'm lesbian. Estonia is awesome, Daisy. I love it, but it's always under threat from Russia. Oh, and Finland. I guess that's Eastern Europe, too. To me, that's Scandinavia, not Eastern Europe. So I didn't read yours. What are you talking about, Quiz? What are you talking about? Did just send it again. Okay, well, maybe it hasn't arrived yet, but it's moving at the speed of light, so it should have been here. Let me reload it. Nope. 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 I'm not playing with you. It's not there. Having been in the military, it almost certainly will be assumed that one has been inculcated with disciplinary understanding concepts such as having responsibility should be matched with authority. Hey, Keith Alderson, how you doing, man? I haven't seen you in a bit. There's our resident Coventry man. Thanks for your video on the cancer doubling down on redress. Yeah, bottom line. Yeah, well, that's what's driven by this story, which I didn't have time. It was this morning. It appeared, and I didn't have time to address it with a video, so I made it short. White supremacy notion threatens South Africa's sovereignty. Seriously? Seriously? Some in our society still adhere to notions of racial superiority and seek to maintain racial privilege. They do. And their names are Ramaphosa and Mashatile and Gumeda and people like that. They're the ones that adhere to a notion of racial superiority. Oh, Cinderella, I've got something like that. Okay, well, thank you very much. Oh, okay. Well, Cinderella. Yeah, see, this is why I need to know the title. Okay, I have this. I have this from you. And I saw that message before. Yep. Okay. I'm not understanding why you're driving all these places when you were told they were canceled. So I don't understand why you drove there after they told you. What I don't understand is why you're driving there. So, Cinderella, I don't understand why you're driving. I did have the email. I was not looking for that name, and you didn't give me the I mean, so I saw that email. Yeah, I have that email. But see, that's the problem with your usernames over here. They don't match. So, and without you outing your name, I don't want you doing that. So the title is what's helpful. So yeah, I had that email, and I just got it again. Thank you for sending it in. I don't understand why you drove all the way. You say in the email yourself that they told you your thing was canceled because they're still working on it, your appointment. So I don't understand why you're going places when they told you it's canceled. A couple weeks ago, I saw a vid of Sweden, or is it Finland? Conclusion, fallen. Sweden has fallen. Finland hasn't fallen yet, but Sweden has fallen. You know, in Swedish, there was no word for gang rape until they let 2 million aliens into the country from Africa and elsewhere in the Middle East. And now they have a term for gang rape. Swedish girls are frequently gang raped. Yes, you can donate blood for money in the U.S. In fact, I have a rare type of blood. And so you can donate plasma. When I was a freshman in college and I was 18 years old, I used to sell my plasma because I had B-positive blood. And I got twice the amount of money, almost 3 times the amount of money other people got because of B-positive. So that was something they needed. All right, well, I'm misunderstanding your email. I'll have to read it when I'm not addressing chat. I inferred from the thing you said they told you that you had these appointments, then they sent you a note saying they're canceled while they're interviewing it, and then you went there anyway. Maybe I misread that. Yes, Deanie Meyer, Dreyer, they got a medical, but being jerked around and told to go from one place to another is not fun. It's a lot of nonsense. Keith is doing well at the moment. Thank you for asking earlier in the chat. I gave details. BBC Mini Doc. A city held hostage to Johannesburg. Yeah, I didn't see that one. Folk Funk says there are many options for people wanting to get out and save themselves. I don't agree with that, Folk Funk. There aren't many options. People have the money, tend to be getting out, but the options aren't good. But that said, 82 people per day have been fleeing South Africa, black, white, and brown. Every day. South Africa's been bled of its human capital. And now we have the 30%ers that are running the roost. Nurses chasing away when they... Oh, yeah, Addison's... No, you can't have that. No. Well, I can't donate blood anymore. I mean, maybe I can now because it's been 10 years, but I wasn't able to donate blood for a long time because of Khoiso Jakob, Mad Cow. I don't have mad cow, but the Brits feeding sheep, ground up sheep to cattle. I mean, what the hell's wrong with these people? A lot of the beef that the military was using for its troops in Germany was imported in Spain, and Netherlands was imported from Britain back in the day because it's a lot quicker and cheaper than getting it from the U.S. And so if we ate beef of any sort from 1984 until 94, you were prohibited from donating blood. So I wasn't able to donate blood for a long time. And then also I couldn't take it for a long time because I was taking malaria meds. Yep. Yes, B positive is scarce. Ronell, it is. B positive is scarce. I think it's like 6% of the population is B positive. Let me look and see. Maybe I don't want to give you bad information. What percentage? Positive. It's probably going to be higher than I said. 9% in the U.S., yep. 9%. So it's about 9% of the U.S. population. It's higher around the world, 15%, but it's still rare. 9%, less than 1 in 10. Want to buy a small unit in a lovely park setting KZN, but without a job to pay levies would eventually lose. I donate plenty of blood in my life already, but all you give is mixed juice and a cookie cash. Well, AB negative is very rare, yep. Swedish girls like calculators. AB positive, another rare blood type. Yep. So I'm in a small group of. So first off, so earlier, Dogzilla, if he's still here, was complaining about me self promotion when I hadn't even talked about myself. The songs weren't even about me. It was about Cyril, and it was about. It was the other song. None of them were, not even my Wyatt Army song, which isn't about me. It's about you guys, but whatever. But it does talk about me. So he was complaining. But I am in 91% of the population of this country doesn't have my blood type. 91%. So I'm the top 10% of that. I'm left-handed. So let's just check on that because I know the figures have. Okay, approximately 10% of the U.S. population is left-handed. So I'm B positive, left-handed. Okay. Let's see. And then I'm in the top 1% of YouTube content creators on the planet, top 1%. And then let me look this up. Okay. So I looked to see what is the percentage of devastatingly handsome Americans, but the website is telling me that it cannot be determined by objective data, as handsomeness is subjective and varies widely based on personal and cultural standards. So I am in the top 1% of devastatingly handsome Americans. Okay. Yeah, I sold your last property in 2019. I'll never buy it again. Knew EWC was coming. You were smart. Yeah. Entertain. Yeah. No, I tried. I tried to objectively tell you that, I prove that I'm in the top 1% of devastatingly handsome white men. But apparently it says that it is a objective. It can't be determined by objective data because it's subjective. So, look, so my opinion is my opinion. And if I think I'm in the top 1% of devastatingly handsome white men, then, that's just how it is. That's my opinion. And I'm also in the top 1% of Santa Claus lookalikes, particularly with these glasses on. I'm making lists and I've been checking it twice. I know who's been naughty. I know who's been nice. Your father-in-law's left-handed and he's a jerk. Well, that's his problem. That's not my problem. Oh, my goodness. For one that does a hell of a lot of research before decisions, I overlook blood groups. My wife and I can never have kids. Oh, my goodness, David, that's crazy. Looks like a lot of people have scarce blood types. I've always thought B positive just don't. No, right now it's not. 9% of the population. Yep. I thought it was 6. I think that data's been updated. It used to be maybe a lot of people with B positive been having kids. Cara was born with 3 kidneys. Well, that's selfish. Some of us only have 2. Give up 1. Santa Claus arrived. Xavier, O positive cannot mix with A negative. That's racist. Xavier's being racist over here, talking about blood types can't mix. We all know they can. We all know they can. That's how they got the famous O negative, A positive people. Being in a small group does not make one top, but it certainly makes one weird. Oh, you missed the Dogzilla stuff earlier, Keith. We had saving that kidney for a rainy day. Yeah, no, I got you. So, yeah. Only until I get to USA, then you're going to move down a few bases. Oh, okay, says CGS. Well, no, see, RVC, that you say that, always positive, but my blood type reflects my outlook on life, to be positive. Double kidneys are fused together. Can't give one even if I wanted to. Oh, your sister passed away. I'm sorry to hear that, Car. Don't eat chicken. Ambidextrous, okay. At least we're having a little bit of fun, folks, right? So Ramaphosa says white supremacy. Okay, so Ramakopa weighs in on a bid to be in the top 6 for the ANC. I think it's doable, but I don't think they're going to want him there because he's competent. My mom was B positive. My dad was A minus. Okay, A negative. Electricity Minister explores joint leadership ticket with Toko Didiza ahead of the 2027 conference. Oh, he has ambitions, does he now? The electric slide minister. Deanie says, thank you for being the top 1% of devastating, handsome, jaw-dropping, uniform-wearing, bearded males. Guys, I will be on the air in 5.5 hours on the Truth Report, and then I have an interview after that a couple hours later. So I'm going to wrap up here shortly, but I just want to get through a couple more of these things. What else I want to cover real quick? They did find the car that was used in the murder of Marius Fundameva. Zelensky says, we're not going to give up land to Russia. Jasmine Crockett is running for the Senate. Yeah. Supreme Court is about to give Trump more expanded powers to fire appointees. And the Trump administration abruptly canceled citizenship ceremonies for some migrants. Several immigrants this week were to take their citizenship oaths at Boston's Faneuil Hall. Were told they could not proceed because of their country's origin. Wow. Citizenship Immigration Service instructed its employees to halt immigration pathways for 19 countries. Well, that's kind of messed up. Boston Mayor Michelle Wu expressed outrage at the situation over the weekend. It's despicable that it's deeply painful to see this happening across the country, but to feel it at the cradle of liberty in Boston and Faneuil Hall, a place that represents the foundation of this country and the very values that made our nation who we are. Several people said they received cancellation notices through an online portal, but the notices provide no further guidance. They said it's a pause, an effort to strengthen the screening process. Yep. So nothing wrong with that. But, of course, Michelle Wu has a problem with that. Trump announced a $12 billion farmers aid program to make up for the losses in soybeans. Alina Habba has resigned as New Jersey's top prosecutor. She resigned U.S. Attorney in New Jersey on Monday, a week after a panel of federal judges ruled that she was serving a position unlawfully. Of course, that's nonsense. She had been Trump's personal lawyer. Trump admin aims to create family-friendly airports with healthier foods and exercise areas, and it was was launched by RFK doing 19 pull-ups. That's impressive. I can never do 19 pull-ups in my entire life, even when I was really fit. And Sean Duffy, who did 10. And they want to make airports friendly. Isabel Brown was there. Why do they have influencers? I don't understand that. Isabel Brown. I don't get that. Make family travel friendly. I don't get that. These people are being pimped by the Trump administration are interesting. And the Colts, they're bringing back Phillip Rivers, the 44-year-old retired NFL quarterback, because the Colts have been devastated. His retirement may be short-lived. The 8-time Pro Bowl quarterback turned 44 of this Monday is being brought in by the Colts for a workout tomorrow and could be signed. News of the workout comes 24 hours after the Colts quarterback Daniel Jones suffered in a season-ending Achilles tear during a ridiculous loss to Jaguars, and after the team revealed that rookie quarterback Riley Leonard is week-to-week with a knee injury of his own. He hasn't played since 2020 and only officially retired from the NFL in July. So it's been 5 years. He used to play with the Colts briefly, took them to the playoffs. While the Colts tried to work out Phillip Rivers to see what type of shape he's in, the former quarterback, who's now a grandfather, also needs to figure out whether he's willing to play. For now, he's clearly intrigued enough to fly to Indianapolis. He played one season with the Colts during his 17-year career, spending the other 16 with the Chargers. In his one season with the Colts, he helped them reach the playoffs before getting eliminated in a wild card by the Bills. And there he is, back in 2020. He threw for 4,169 yards, 24 touchdowns that season, but that was 5 years ago. He's been coaching high school in Alabama since then. So there you go. Will Phillip Rivers be playing for the Colts? Maybe. Maybe. That would be a hell of a story. Ronell, thank you much for everything you're doing. Bring us the news and all the help you can give us. May you be blessed in abundance. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate it, Ronell. Saw first time in more than a decade Kansas City Chiefs won't make AFC playoffs. Had to happen eventually. Yeah, it does. Holding thumbs for you guys that side of the budget. Well, the budget, yeah, it's not going to happen. Proud to be supreme. Love it when I'm called a supremacist. Says Buster. There's no reason for the dollar to fall. This is false optimism over South Africa. The link for the Truth Report, well, I mean, I have to go find it. Is it listed? I don't even know what it is. Just know I'm calling in the morning. Truth Report. What the hell was that? Shit. Oh. Okay. Doesn't have anything listed what's upcoming. I'll schedule for 5 a.m. Okay, for the 9th. Okay, that's it right there. Hang on, got it. Copy. This is the link, so you guys can watch it at noon South African time. Okay, there it is. I found it. So that's the link. You can catch me on the Truth Report, okay? And if you don't mind, if you do come watch me on the Truth Report, log in and say the Wyatt Army. Hear from the Wyatt Army. That'd be cool. See how many people show up. Since Zelensky will keep fighting as long as he uses other people's money. Exactly. That's been the problem. Been the problem all along. Yeah, how's Iran gaining against the dollar? The dollar's not losing value. Entertain. Take care. Okay. All right. So, yeah, for me, it's really inconvenient. It's 5 a.m., which means I'm up at 4:30. I'm going to brush my hair. Right now, it looks dead sexy. Look at that hair, man. Almost looks like a rug, but it's real. Anyway, yeah, it's early, so I'll be back here, and that clock will say 5 a.m. on the 9th. Okay, normally I would make a video now, but I'm going to go to bed. Big banks and treasuries are artificially propping up the rand. There are mechanisms to do this, but it's not sustainable. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. They're trying to push a narrative, and it's costing a lot of money. It will be live, Garrett Gillich. It's a live broadcast every Tuesday at noon time. Yep. And they wanted me to be on it initially, but I'm like, guys, at 5 a.m., come on. If I'm lucky, I get to bed by 3 every night. Yeah, so anyway. But tonight I'm going to cut all things short, and I'm going to get up and I'm going to do that, okay? All right, time for me to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done. We haven't even hit 200 likes. Oh, that sucks. Can we get 200 likes? And anyway, did I play the wrong song earlier? Let me go back and see, because the song I played didn't sound like the right one. Hang on a second here. Suno. Okay, let me go to there. Suno. Because the one I played earlier sounded like the second version. Did I download the wrong version? Let me see. Here we go, working on compensation. Okay. No, I played the right one earlier. Anyway, so that's working without compensation. I played it earlier. Anyway, it's already posted up. It's already went through my distributor, DistroKid. It should appear on YouTube, and I already put it on my channel. Not a lot of people watched it though. It might over 1,000. Okay, it's not too bad. 1,091. Let me see what it's really at now. Is it 1,091? 1,200. Yeah, it's really low. Not many people watching it. Anyway, there are 21 comments on it. Anyway, thank you all who have watched it. And by the way, before we leave, I want to say this. Screen says 205 likes. Well, that's because it doesn't update. It's up to, it's 204, 208 now. We pushed it. So my average views has climbed back from 1.9 million to 2.1 million. Now it's at 2.9 million. And I think we are about to go over 35 million lifetime views. Let me see if we're close. Come on, YouTube. We are 3,300 views away from 35 million. So we will hit 35 million today, easily. 35 million views on this channel. Wow. That's pretty cool. 3 million hours of watch time. 3 million hours. Wow. Yep, that's crazy. Yep, that's crazy. Yeah, boy. So, yeah, we will hit 35 million views today. It's fine, Karen, if you watch the YouTube video for the theme or the topic, DJ Silver Eagle topic, that's actually better for me. If you enjoy it, that's great because I'm actually making money from that. In fact, let me go look and see. YouTube was the one place of making money. Let me look at DistroKid here. Look at my bank now. Make sure I'm still signed in. Okay. So I'm up to $50 now. They owe me $50. So breakdown by service. Okay, the $50. iTunes, I'm now making $9.46. Spotify, I've only made $4.26. I don't make much off of Spotify. 12 cents off of Tidal. Woohoo. YouTube ads, I made $5.86. YouTube Red, $27.58. So YouTube has made me $34 of the $50. So most of the money, nothing from all these other services. Oh, 18 cents on Facebook. $50.07. So that's what I made off it. I haven't withdrawn any of the money. So $50.07. There you go. So yeah, these stores are 2 to 3 month delay. So I mean, these things went up. I think when I started putting them up, July or August. I can't remember when it was. When did I? Let me see if I can look at my account. See when I opened my account. Personal profile. Does it tell me when I opened this account? No, it isn't there. It doesn't tell me that. Let me look at my stats here. Okay, so on Spotify, I've had 48,406 streams, and I've made $4.96. Yeah, and it's been consistently around 300 streams per day or something like that. So South Africa is where most of my streams have come from. 33,000 have come from South Africa. So, yeah. So anyway, now let me look for another spot. Apple Music and 502 streams on Apple Music. And Cat Got Your Tongue seems to be very popular. That's the most popular one. iTunes and Amazon sales. Let's see that. Okay, nothing. It says nothing sold there, which is odd because I received money from them. Anyway, but yeah, so it's made me all $50, all that music, which right now is break even because that's what I paid for the service to distribute the stuff. So I'm broken even. Anyway, all right, Wolf, be careful on your trip. All right, guys. Hey, Reno. You guys take care. Appreciate you being here. All right, be well. And I'll be on Truth Report in about 5.5 hours. Y'all take care. Thanks.